So I think we need to do the intro for this now, even though it's the end.
Okay.
But I guess the intro will be something like, this podcast isn't very good because I originally planned on putting this on Patreon, but I changed my mind because I feel like some people who are not on Patreon would enjoy this.
Yeah, so like we're recording this after the podcast is done.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to reassure you that like there's a lot of sort of places in the middle where you might think they're not going to make it to the end. This is so shambolic. But I think like it's, you know, we do make it to the end. We do cover everything.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of it is like anything we haven't said before.
Well, we did add a few new theories to the Soulsborne community, such as the roof theory and the hoarding theory.
The roof theory.
Yeah. And,
so what is the roof theory? Is that some buildings have roofs? From
there's
memory.
more to it. Don't spoil it. Thank you and enjoy. Yay!
Yeah, perfect.
We hyped.
No, well, can you run through what this is again?
Okay, so what I want to do is just look at the boss arenas of Bloodborne bosses and NPCs we have to fight.
Uh-huh.
And just see what it tells us about them.
Okay.
Richie, do you remember you said, oh, we're doing Vile Bloods now? I don't know how much blood is left in this Bloodborne stone. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll show you how much blood is left. It's a lot.
Are you thinking of applying to become CEO of Bandai? Because I think you'd be quite good at it.
Really? Why?
No, we can milk this further.
Yeah. The best part is it's genuine. It's not like I'm trying to milk it. It's like I'm really curious about these things. So I don't know if it's best or worst. Like,
let's just go.
Okay.
It's almost 3 a.m.
Oh, well. You know how it is. I had to wake up at like 7 to record. So
Yeah.
I suffer. Now it's okay. Now you suffer.
That's fine.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
So, main story bosses. First boss is Cleric Beast.
Yep.
We fight him on the bridge.
Yep.
Why?
Go on.
Okay, well, why do we fight him on a bridge?
It's a very good question, because he's invisible and then he jumps out of a wall and appears on the bridge.
Was he, like, hanging there the entire time waiting for us, or?
Do you want the, like, actual technical answer?
Sure.
He's held inside the wall. Like, he's just like he just exists inside the wall. He doesn't have any physical presence. And then he literally jumps out of the ground. Like, he just flies out of the ground and lands.
But it looks like he's jumping from behind a wall in-game, right?
Yeah, and you can go to that wall, like, without beating the Cleric Beast and look, and he's not there. The idea is he is the captain of the Church Hunters.
Oh my god, Richie. Do you know what I'm thinking as soon as you said, he's the captain of the Church Hunters?
The Cleric Beast Gascoigne explanation podcast.
Yeah, not the podcast, just this excerpt where you're trying to explain it.
Okay, so the idea is he's captain of the Church Hunters.
Mm-hmm.
So he's in Cathedral Ward.
Right.
Because he was coming back from the hunt. He must have transformed, like, on the way back from the hunt or something.
Okay.
And you find him, like, on the path to the door that his emblem would open.
The mystery door?
No, the door, like, you beat the Cleric Beast,
the
you can buy
gate.
the Hunter Chief emblem to open the gate, yeah.
No.
Yeah, so you find him, like, around that area. So he was, like, I guess coming back from the hunt, and he is transforming. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the bridge is a pretty narrow area.
Kinda, yeah.
How do you think that affects the fight?
Well, the Cleric Beast we know now was designed to be fought in the Grand Cathedral.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess he was maybe designed for, like... Well, he has a lot of, like, leaping forward attacks. So it gives you a little less room to dodge around it than you would have in the Grand Cathedral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your first encounter with him like?
Well, I knew he was coming because they kept hyping him up in all the trailers.
Hmm. Well, I didn't because I played Bloodborne. I didn't even see the trailers, I don't think. And I was just walking, right?
Yeah.
And then I walk. This giant dude jumps out at me. And I'm like, oh my god, and I'm trying to run back, but I can't because there's a fog wall. And I'm like, what is this shit?
Yeah.
And then he was like punching me and screaming at me, and I was like so traumatized.
You were so traumatized you had to spend the next year recording podcasts about it.
Well, no, then I threw it in the trash for 6 months. Because I was like, this is shit. I don't know why my boyfriend would get this for me on my birthday. He's clearly not the man for me because he doesn't even understand me. How could he think I'd be interested in this?
Yeah, but in the end, he knew you better than you knew yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
this is going to be another Sinclair Eats podcast.
I'm not eating. What makes you think I'm eating?
I'm eating, Richard.
It's because I'm hungry. I haven't eaten in like we started at 7. I had a toast then. 2 or 1. No, I had a...
Garçon, more wine.
I had like a little mini set.
Continue.
Why did you do that, Richie? Why did you burp so loudly into your microphone?
Why did I burp so loudly into your microphone? I don't know.
Exactly. Is it because you've been drinking Dr. Pepper?
Continue.
So, yeah, okay, so I ate a little sandwich. Well, like, I guess it's a regular sandwich, but by my standards, it's a little sandwich.
I think this is a record for going from, like, the topic that we were supposed to be talking about to just, like, here's what I ate today.
And then, yeah. And so it was at around 7, but now it's 1. So let's see, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. And I haven't eaten in between. And you know how grumpy I get when I don't get my snacks.
Yes.
So this is necessary if you want to live. If you want to survive this. Let's see. Boyfriend, what was your first impression of the Cleric Beast?
Ouch.
Ouch. Oh. Yeah, I don't... is there anything else to say about him? About his arena?
He used to be able to wreck the carriages.
I think he still is, though. Or the carriages get wrecked. I don't know if it's him.
No, there used to be an item you could only get by having him smash the carriages.
But
they removed it.
No, but the carriages are still there and they can get wrecked.
Okay. I don't remember. I don't think they can. Are you sure?
You said it once in another podcast and I had to cut it out so I don't get angry messages, because yes, you can.
Okay. I've never had it happen.
Well, that's because you're a casual, but look. I look here at gameplay.
I can't look because I'm in another house.
But anyway, I'm looking and look. Carriage is wrecked.
I believe you.
Thank you. Do you think the Cleric Beast is a reindeer?
I think it's a Wendigo.
Can you explain what a Wendigo is again?
Isn't a Wendigo Canadian?
I'm testing your Canadian knowledge since you're going to move here soon.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. I will. I'll move there and farm Wendigo.
There we
raise
go.
a couple of head of Wendigo. Milk them and sell their pelts. So Wendigo it's like a folkloric thing. It's it's like a creature that lives in the woods and eats people. People who develop like kind of cannibalistic cravings, they're described as having like, it's like they call it like Wendigo psychosis or something. But in Lovecraft's work and in the Cthulhu mythos stuff, the Wendigo refers specifically to like a creature that is like a kind of wolf reindeer thing with big antlers that resembles the Cleric Beast. So I think when they were doing their Lovecraft research, they probably saw we saw a Wendigo and based the Cleric Beast on that.
Cool. Why is one of his arms larger than the other?
Well, all the
Or
beasts are
furrier, or whatever.
because they're kind of asymmetrical. Because like, you look at the people in Yharnam, like their faces are asymmetrical, and there's the whole thing about like beasthood creeps up one side of your body first, and like Ludwig is asymmetrical, so they're big on asymmetry. Except Amelia, who is not. Actually, it's pretty much just the Cleric Beast that's asymmetrical.
Did you just say, oh, they're all asymmetrical, and then, oh, it's just the Cleric Beast?
Well, they talk about things being asymmetrical, and the people are asymmetrical, but the beasts really aren't asymmetrical except the Cleric Beast.
So it looks like I helped you realize something, because your initial understanding was wrong.
Well, it's like the Cleric Beast and Ludwig are asymmetrical, and the people's faces in Yharnam are asymmetrical. And like the Yharnamites, like they have one arm that's longer than the other. That's like the Cleric Beast.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess it's like that.
Okay. I guess that's it. There's
Are we
a
going
carriage.
to do other arenas?
Oh yeah, we're gonna do them all.
Okay.
But that's it for this one. There's a carriage on the bridge, right?
Yeah.
Who do you think that belonged to?
Belka.
And then there's statues on the bridge as well. Are they just there to illuminate the path because they're holding
They're
candles?
also Velka. Velka was on her way to be in Bloodborne, because she has to be in all the games. She was in her carriage, but then she looked out the window, she's like, hang on, is that a statue of me? And then that distracted her and the carriage crashed.
Oh no.
And then she flew away and became the wet nurse.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Okay, so
11 minutes.
This is
For
perfect.
the bridge.
There
It's
we
not.
go. I told you. This is
Okay.
This is good.
Okay, good.
Next one is Father Gascoigne.
Yep, he is in a graveyard.
And there are a lot of graves in the graveyard.
Why do you think that is?
Because people are buried there?
Ah, I see. Well, you know, we don't get explicit confirmation, so we can't be sure.
Yeah, what if it's just like decorative graves? What if it's like Odin was really goth? And so they build this goth thing for him?
Well, I wouldn't like put it past Yharnam to have decorative graves.
Yeah. And it looks like there's snow in this arena?
Oh, yeah, there's like a particle effect. I don't think it's snow, though.
Is it ash?
It's a shame Aegon's not still here, because he knows all about particle effects.
Yeah. But it's, what is it?
Well, I guess like the Great Bridge is directly above you, so it's probably like just stuff falling from the bridge. Hang on, it's not above you, is it? Yeah, no, there's just something else above you.
Is the white particle effect the Cleric Beast's dandruff?
Yes.
But you're saying it's not...
I got confused for a second because the exact layout confuses me. I don't think it is. I'm trying to think it through.
So the bridge is not above...
I think it is above you, but it's not directly above you.
And you know there's like a monument or whatever in the middle of the graveyard?
Yeah, there's like a big dude.
Yeah, who is that?
I have no idea.
Is that Odin?
Well, no, Odin's a voice.
Well, at one point, maybe he wasn't a voice.
Yeah, but like...
Then who is this, Richie?
Well, it's the same one they have in the Grand Cathedral, like, plaza area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's also a bunch of trees. But they don't have, like, leaves on them.
Okay, the Great Bridge can't be above you. I just figured it out. Okay, I don't know what's above you.
Maybe nothing?
Well, there's a bridge.
Oh. Okay, a bridge. Maybe it's another bridge with another Cleric Beast.
That's true.
But there are a lot of trees and they don't have leaves on them.
Yes.
Is it like autumn in Yharnam or what?
What if it's the beginning of like winter and it's Halloween? And that's why all the graves are there.
Yeah, it's like decorations.
Yharnam's actually normally completely like normal.
Yeah.
We just happen to visit Yharnam on Halloween, so everyone's got all their fake plastic gravestones out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay, good. And there are creepy little statues there too that look like they're like, but those are also everywhere around Yharnam.
Yeah.
With lights or whatever.
They have little candle things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or either candle or the lamp.
Yeah. You know what else is in Gascoigne's arena?
Viola?
Yeah, Gascoigne's dead wife. So she probably talk about that's probably more significant than the trees not having leaves.
Well, okay, let's talk about that.
Well, it's only Gascoigne's dead wife. Do you think he killed her?
I don't know. It's either
because she's not. Yeah, she's not near the pile of bodies he's cutting up.
Yeah, and also she's not. She's just like it's almost like she was running away and she fell. I don't remember. What does she look like? Because she's not ripped apart or anything. Right?
Yeah, she's sprawled out in like a pool of blood.
So maybe she was wounded and she tried running and then she fell.
Do you think she left the note in Erdon Chapel?
No.
That says about the spider. Okay.
No, she didn't. No, she's not the wet nurse. She doesn't work for Mansus. She's just Gascoigne's wife who went out during the night of a hunt because she has dementia.
Okay.
We've been through this.
Do you want to explain that for the benefit of other people?
Well, I have a whole lore video on it that explains it pretty well. Basically, Gascoigne and Viola lived together somewhere else, and then, she started getting cognitive problems, and then Gascoigne, from his church, heard about special blood from Yharnam, so they moved there.
Right.
And she started her blood ministration, and it seemed like it was helping at first, but then... not really. And then there's a whole thing about Gascoigne where he was supposed to quit hunting, but he didn't. And anyway, so one night when she was experiencing her symptoms, she just went out wandering during the hunt and she got killed. But my video explains it much better and it's very well done. Yeah.
It's very well done.
Yeah. Vati commented on that video.
Back before I ruined the channel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you hear me? I said Vati commented on that video.
Did he?
Yeah, because it's a first-person lore video. He said it's very good.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You knew this. I told you.
I thought you were joking.
What? I showed you a screenshot. Oh, my God, Richie. You're so lucky I had a snack. Oh, God. This is why you're alive right now, because I had that tuna snack is the reason you're alive right now.
It's 3:15 in the morning.
The tuna sacrificed itself for you. Just like Professor Tarzan in that shitty anime we watched. Okay. So, yeah, is there anything else? What do you think killed the wife?
The wife? It's just like some really bad 80s translation of something, like in an RPG. You have a character just say, "Who killed the wife?" I think it's like it's weird because she doesn't have the music box with her. Because Gascoigne's daughter says like the music box, my mother plays it so that Daddy remembers. So you'd think she would take it with her, but she leaves it with the kid.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's another reason. Maybe she does have dementia. Maybe she's supposed to take it, but she forgot. Like, it makes no sense that she wouldn't take... Well, first of all, it makes no sense for her to go out the night of the hunt.
Do you know what else is really weird? Gascoigne's other daughter, like, just shows up. So was she also just wandering around?
Yeah, well, I explained that in my video, and I think I allude to it, where Gascoigne has, like, he's kind of irresponsible, where he's supposed to quit the hunt but doesn't, and their older daughter is also irresponsible, where she kind of sneaks out of the house from time to time. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It runs in the family.
You know what else is in Gascoigne's boss arena?
What?
Henrik.
That's later. We'll cover Henrik later. And we're supposed to be covering
the same
boss arena. Why are you getting me all riled up about how Viola doesn't make any sense? Yeah,
Henrik and Gascoigne are in the same arena.
But Henrik is a completely different person. We're going by boss arenas by the bosses. Are you suggesting that Henrik and Gascoigne are one and the same?
Well, they're partners.
Okay, but they're not... Okay, they're partners, but they have their individual lives. So that's why we will discuss them separately. So anything else about Gascoigne's arena? We can have a whole episode on Viola if you want. But...
Eileen's there as well.
Now's not the time, Richie.
Okay, did you know that, like, you can beat Gascoigne, and then if you haven't beaten the Cleric Beast, you can summon people, and you can go run in there when Henrik and Eileen are there. And you can have, like, 5 people fighting at once. It's like you and you 2 summons, then Eileen and Henrik as like a
That's
5.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, good. We're averaging 10 minutes per arena.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So it should be done by about 5 a.m.
Well, we don't have to do it all today.
I think we should just get it done today so we don't have to do it again later.
Why, Richie? Are you saying this isn't interesting? Are you saying my ideas are bad?
So the Bloodstaff Beasts arena.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
Well, it's in Wait a minute. No, wait. Before... Why do you pronounce Gascoigne? Is that how it's pronounced?
Gascoigne.
Yeah.
Isn't that how it's pronounced?
I don't know. It sounds like you're saying gas coin, like a gas coin.
Well, how should it be pronounced?
I don't know.
It's Gascoigne.
Gascoigne, no?
That's it. I say Gascoigne.
I don't know.
Well, you live somewhere where they speak French. Like, you're probably right.
Gascoigne. Babe!
I think Eileen says Gascoigne.
How do you pronounce Gascoigne's name?
I don't know.
Gascoigne in French. Okay, let's do this.
Is he French?
Is he French?
He's Irish.
He's Irish. Oh. Huh. I don't know. I feel like... Okay, let's
I'm pretty
see the
sure
internet.
Eileen says Gascoigne.
But what does she know?
But also, she probably didn't know him very well.
Yeah, she kills his partner.
You'd have to ask Henrik.
Okay. Gascoigne? Because I guess is... Yeah, okay. Never mind. Forget I said anything. Let's move on.
Like how you're annoyed at yourself. Like you helped them be like, oh, forget I said anything. Let's move on.
Yeah, like I'm giving myself attitude. I'm an equal opportunity attituder, you know? Okay, Bloodstarved Beast.
Okay, Bloodstarved Beast.
Okay. Where do we find the...
It's got a name. It's the Church of the Good Chalice.
Okay. What's so good about the Chalice?
I think it's meant to be more like Church of the Holy Chalice or something, and they just went with good.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, like, the blood-starved beast, I'm pretty sure, is a cleric who was presiding over what was going on in that church.
Mm-hmm.
And their congregation were the people, the beasts who were crucified outside. It's like the blood-starved beast would have been doing a ritual with it, like Emilia.
Mm-hmm.
Like, would have been in front of the altar taking in blood from the chalice, and then they transformed, and then all the other people in the church transformed. Then when the healing church came to Old Yharnam, they burned up all the other beasts, but they couldn't get past the blood-starved beast to get to the chalice, so they just abandoned it.
Mm-hmm. And do you think the cleric looks like the clerics with the big nose?
No, I think the statues look like the guy with the big nose.
No, but the actual blood-starved beast.
The
statues look like... Okay. Oh my god. The statues look like the guy with the big nose because they have big noses.
Yeah.
Thank you, Professor Richard.
Okay, the blood-starved beast doesn't have a nose.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is before he became a blood-starved beast, do you think he looked like those statues?
No, I think he just looked like a dude. Or possibly she. We had this discussion on a stream the other day.
Really?
Yeah, because we were calling the blood-starved beast he, and then we were like, well, a lot of the clerics in the game are women.
That's true.
So maybe it was a she, but we don't know.
You know, there's this Russian joke about how you can tell if a cat is a boy or a girl.
Go on.
But it's cute, but it's untranslatable, and it's so frustrating because in Russian.
Well, I prefer the joke in its original English. So why don't you just give me that?
Okay, so because you know Russian grammar and conjugation is like different from English, right?
Yeah.
And like words and verbs have genders.
Like,
basically, long story
like
short.
French, yeah.
Yeah, so so basically, somebody's like, "Hey, I can't tell how a cat is a boy or a girl. How do I tell?" And the other person's like, "That's easy. You take the cat and you put it on the floor. If she runs, it's a girl. If he runs, it's a boy." Because we would conjugate runs according to the gender of the cat.
I see.
It's so cute and funny in Russian, but you can't like explain it in any other language. Just sounds stupid. Because to conjugate the verb run, you would add a letter at the end. So it's like cute and unexpected. You wouldn't say like she runs. You'd be like, you know, the she would come at the end. Yeah.
Right.
Thanks for ruining jokes, Richie. Like, why can't you just speak Russian?
Yep. Okay, well, I don't have anything on for a while. So I can try learning Russian.
There we go. I feel like you'd be good at it.
Why?
Because you can fake accents well, so I think it's just part of your
but
talent.
the accent's not the language.
Yes, it is. This one time, I was in a store, right? And this lady, like an older lady.
I'm just watching the time gradually go by. It's like, this is the third thing we've recorded in a row.
So this older lady, like a granny, I guess, she was speaking to the cashier at the store, and what she was trying to say is that she'd like to just tell me which aisle is the frying pan is, right?
Yeah.
And then I hear her like trying to explain it, and she's like, "Where is skavarodka?" And it's so cute. So she just kept repeating frying pan in Russian, but like enunciating it. And then like I was about to go help, and she's like, Tefal, like the Tefal brand, which is very popular in Russia, I think. And he's like, "Oh, okay, it's over there." But it was so cute.
It's like when I helped the Russian guy find the nuts.
Yeah.
He said he could speak English. He was just like, "Do you know what a nut is? And to find nut."
Yeah.
He was also quite short, so I had to get them down for him.
Oh my god. It was a tiny little Russian?
Well, no, he probably could have reached them, but he would have had to like stand on his tiptoes and put his arm all the way up. And he was like quite old, so I got them down for him.
Oh, you're so sweet. If I were you, I'd be like, "Hey, sir, it's okay. Just step on my head."
So that was the Blood-Starved Beasts arena.
Did we cover all of it? Because at the end of the arena, there's a statue.
That's the altar, yeah, that the Chalice is on.
Okay, who built that altar?
The Fumarians.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
But why is there like a human-like saint figure on?
Because the Fumarians look like humans.
No, they were like creepier.
But there's like Fumarian gargoyles all over Old Yharnam.
Huh.
Old Yharnam is like the transition point between the Chalice dungeons and Yharnam, so it's like half and half.
Okay.
You know, on the way to the Blood-Starved Beasts arena, there's like another church, and the Blood-Starved Beast is like crucified and strung up, and then there's an altar, and the altar's got ritual blood on it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, where it's like, only this time it's the chalice, not the blood.
But the other beast is much larger than this one, isn't it?
It might be, but like they're the same. Like they were presumably clerics. Like that, they were two clerics in Old Yharnam who transformed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, and this church has no ceiling.
Correct.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know if it's meant to be that, like, when they were burning Old Yharnam, maybe like the roof of the church was burned. But it could also be something to do with the moon, because it's meant to be like Old Yharnam transformed under the red moon. So maybe not having a roof like helps the moonlight come in or something.
Okay. And it's built entirely out of bricks.
Yes.
Is that good?
Well, many buildings are built out of bricks.
Yeah, I'd like to have a house built out of bricks, or at least have like a brick something in a house, you know?
I'm genuinely confused as to where this is going.
Well, I saw bricks and I like bricks. Like, I like the brick.
Yeah.
Like, if I had a wall,
Yeah, but a lot of Yharnam is made out of bricks. I don't know.
I just noticed
noting.
it here, and I thought about how, like, I would like to have brick walls.
Okay.
Maybe I should move into this church.
Well, it's currently empty.
Oh, well, there you go. I'll just need to. How much is a roof in Yharnam? How much does that cost?
Well, isn't there like a big bridge going over the top of it, so you could like just shelter under the bridge?
Yeah. Also, there are no doors.
Yeah, but like
Was that
you just
intended?
get
Because I don't see any like
to
hinges in the arc or whatever. It looks like it's just no doors.
Yeah, I suspect like it was probably burned. Like the doors would have been
even
wood.
if it's burned, I feel like there needs to be something like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe there were no doors. Maybe it's like a church you just walk into any time.
Oh yeah, like one of those 24-hour churches.
Does those exist?
It's like a drive-through.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, actually.
Yeah, it's just staffed by bored students.
What? Staffed by boards?
Next one.
No, what?
It's like a 24-hour church, and like the people that's like bored college students having to work at the 24-hour church at unreasonable times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Solidarity.
What?
Okay. No, move. Come on. I'm clapping. You can tell it's getting bad because I'm clapping.
It's for patrons, so it's okay.
Whatever. Okay. Amelia's Boss Arena. It's a church. Tick. Right, next one.
No. Because you have to tell us who was there before. Originally.
The Cleric Beast.
Yeah.
Yeah. We mentioned that when we were talking about the Cleric Beast.
Why did they switch?
I actually don't know. Like, I don't know because, like, it may have been to do with the loading issues or something. They may have, like... Because it looks like Gascoigne was always fought in the graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
Cleric Beast, I don't know, like, what the deal with that was, because if you, like, Lancers looked at the alpha and everything, and, like, there's just a bunch of Scourge Beasts on that bridge that you could make load in. So it's possible that, like, it was just full of Scourge Beasts originally. And it
Okay.
was just like you had to get past those. They weren't a boss, technically.
Okay.
Yeah. But it does
Um,
seem like a boss arena because it's got the big gate that like you can put
Yeah.
fog in, and I'm
Yeah,
not sure
it
what the deal
seems.
is.
Yeah. And also, there's also an altar there that looks like the one from old Yharnam, doesn't it?
What are we talking about?
Amelia boss arena.
Oh, I was talking about the bridge.
Yeah.
Because they moved the Cleric Beast from the cathedral to the bridge. Yeah. I don't know if the Cleric Beast was replacing a boss there or what.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
That's what I
okay.
meant, yeah.
Mhm.
Amelia she's just in the Grand Cathedral.
Mhm.
Yep, there is an altar there.
Does it look like the one in old Yharnam?
It's the same basic design in the sense that it's like an altar. And there's like a figure, there's like a female figure at the top, but it's not the one from old Yharnam.
But who made this one then?
I guess the Thumerians also made that, or just
You
the
kind of
Yharnamites?
just like your answer to everything is like, I guess the Thumerians made it. Also, I guess
Okay.
Yharnamites are Thumerians. Also, the Wildbloods are Thumerians. I guess the
They
Thumerians
are.
built the castle. I don't know.
Well,
I feel like
that's what happens.
I feel like you're putting a little too emphasis on Thumerians, so you don't have to come up with lore.
It's their city though. Like they probably built
Oh,
the
so now
stuff
it's a Thumerian city.
I've been saying that for years. Okay, if they subcontracted it out.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes
They
much more sense.
subcontracted the people who built the Cathedral of the Deep.
Also, Thumerians were underground. This is above ground.
But you get that the Thumerians underground are under, like, where you are. Like, it's not like they're underground somewhere else.
So they would just come above ground to build a city and go back down?
No, as they moved closer to the surface, they just built upward. Like, Yharnam is just the top floor of the Chalice dungeons. They just built upward.
So Yharnam is the penthouse?
Yes. The closer they got to the top, the more
fine.
human they became until they forgot who they were. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Haven't I said this like 8 times?
You didn't explain it properly.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Also, this church has a ceiling.
Yes.
That's cool. And
It's
windows.
it's got a second floor
Yeah.
and a lift and a garden
But
with
that's
friends.
no, that's in the DLC though.
No, that's there as well. Because that's where the emissary is, and like where you go to fight Ebrietas.
Oh, but it doesn't have a lift.
Yeah, the lift goes down to where Ebrietas is.
Oh, but that's on the other side.
Yeah, but it's the same room. Just the top floor.
Oh, right. Okay, right. Okay. And
Okay.
there's also a tree behind the statue. Was that like for aesthetic or?
I don't know. I don't know if it's like a tree or a statue of a tree. I'm glad you find this funny.
It's like, so what we should put there? Should it be a tree? Better. A statue of a tree.
Well, if it were an actual tree, you'd have to keep watering it and it might die and stuff. So maybe a statue of a tree is
Well, it
like...
doesn't look very alive, so maybe it's just dead tree. Maybe they
Yeah.
took it from Gascoigne's boss arena.
Ah.
It's all coming together.
So is this going to lead to like a 7-hour Trees of Yharnam episode?
Yes. Maybe we can invite Redgrave, because he did flowers.
I've got a fair amount to say about the Trees of Yharnam, but we'll save that for another time.
You're not joking, are you?
No.
Yeah. Delete your account, please.
All right.
Alright, finally! You're like, that's all I waited for!
No, I spend like at least 2 or 3 times a day I seriously consider deleting all my social media.
Aww. I predicted cut content yet again. The cut content of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are our failed ambitions the cut content of our life?
Whoa, yes!
Yeah.
Deep. The Witch of Hemwick.
Yep.
she's in like a random room.
Yeah, I don't like it.
It feels dirty. Like I feel like it would be smelly and dirty, and it's like
Well, yeah, it's full
move
of
out.
corpses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like it's like what's its purpose? Like there's a handmade bridge on the side that doesn't lead anywhere. It's just like no.
I get the point, which is like the bodies are sent to Hemwick. So they they store them all in this room, and I guess the witches like do stuff to the bodies, like they remove the organs that you need.
You can't even do anything in that room. There's no table, there's nothing, there's no tools. You just they hang them on the ceiling, I guess, for decor. Like, oh, are they making beef jerky?
Maybe.
Is this the beef jerky room?
Yes.
Okay, well, but okay. If I look at it that way, it makes a little bit more sense. Because otherwise, it's literally just an empty room, a handmade bridge in the middle for it for some reason, and like, you know?
So this is the room that you can see Amelia in old trailers.
Yes.
And the handmade bridge isn't in the old trailers.
Huh, what does that mean?
Well, I think, like, when I first saw Amelia in that room, I was thinking, okay, Amelia in the room, they're just, like, placing bosses in rooms they had finished to show something off.
Uh-huh.
But the way that the bridge isn't there, and the similarity to Ludwig's room, where it's, like, all these corpses strewn around, makes me think that, like, maybe that was Amelia's room, because if you remove the bridge, it's, like, a big open space. So you'd be able to fight, like, a large kind of beast boss in there.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And it does look a lot like where you fight Ludwig. So
and
I'm wondering...
Does have yeah. Go on.
I'm just wondering if, like, maybe the Amelia character, who then looks like was called Laura, was maybe a similar, like, thing to Ludwig, where she's just like, the church had her locked up in, like, a basement somewhere, and there's just bodies everywhere.
Yeah. And another thing is there's a similar altar or statue somewhere in that room.
Yeah, there's like another Pieta-style kind of altar.
Yeah. Do you think that altar represents Laura or Amelia or whatever? Or was it also built by Thumerians?
You know that Hemwick are, like, closer to Thumerians than Yharnam are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hear.
Yeah. So, like, that altar's weird because... That's one of the signs, like, for reference, like, the interior of Witch's Abode that we got is absolutely not the interior they wanted to go with, like, at the beginning. Because there's all this, like, unused space in Witch's Abode. It has, like, doors and things on the other side that you can't get to. So the fact that, like, it's this big area, and all you do is you go down a flight of stairs and there's a room. And then another flight of stairs and another room and it ends. Like, I'm pretty sure that was designed for somewhere else. So when I see that altar thing, it looks very much like a church altar. So I'm wondering if, like, does that mean this was, like, under a church at one point, like in Yharnam versus where it is now? But then also the like bandaged sort of, like, the aesthetic of it does match the aesthetic of other statues in Hemwick. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm. And one of the cloth in that room looks like a beast face.
I see.
I noticed that all by myself.
It's very good.
Thank you. And there's also a lot of barrels. Are eyes in those barrels or what?
You can knock the barrels open and eyes don't come out. So I don't know what's in the barrels.
Oh, finished beef jerky or pickles. Pickles to go with beef jerky.
Pickles. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
This is their cuisine room, you know?
Little things in Yharnam. Pickles.
Yeah. Also made of brick. I appreciate that.
Good.
Okay.
What's the alternative in Yharnam? It can be brick, it can be wood.
Cement?
Do they have cement in Yharnam?
How do you make cement?
Wasn't this a whole historical thing where, like, the Romans knew how to make cement, then it got forgotten, then it was rediscovered later on?
I don't know.
What's the next boss?
No, this boss room leads somewhere else. We gotta talk about that.
Okay.
It's because it's attached to a room in which it's attached to a room in which we find a dead hunter.
Yep.
So the witches of Hamwick just like caught the hunter, tortured them, and just like left him there, or what?
Yeah. Well, that's what it looks like.
Okay.
But it also reminds me a lot of the prison where you meet Brador in the DLC.
Right.
So because like we know a lot of the DLC is like abandoned stuff from the base game. And like one thing about that room is that the roof has clipping from above and there's a hole in it. So it would have been possible to drop down like onto the roof of that room and then drop down the hole to where the body is. So I kind of wonder if like that area with the big room with all of the corpses in it, like maybe that was like Ludwig's room, like that was the underneath the prison. Then there would have been like another area with little cells coming off, with like hunters tied up and like locked in there that the church didn't want to get out. And that hunter is like a relic of that. That's what I wonder about that whole area. You know, the way that like Ludwig's in the room with all the corpses and then like up the stairs from Ludwig, there's just this corridor with all these cells in it. I kind of wonder if that the Witch's Abode interior is an early draft of that, where you'd have like the room with Amelia and all the corpses, and then off to the side of that there would have been all these little cells. And that the hunter in the cell is one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, thank you.
Shadows of Yharnam.
No.
No.
The one true wiki says Dark Beast Parl.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, go.
Well, Dark Beast Parl, it's just a really open area with like nothing in it.
Yeah.
Okay, there was a theory early on that like there's the cell in Yahagol. There's like a hole dug through it that leads to Parl's around.
Dark Beast escaped from there.
Yeah, he escaped and he tunneled through there and died in the courtyard. Yeah.
Yeah. And the arena is just like... It's just a... Well, wait a minute. There's a gate. But if you...
the gate to Old Yharnam.
If you enter through the gate, let's say the boss isn't there. So you just use the gate from the other side, the non-boss side, to enter this place. What is this?
Well, it looks like it would have connected to Yahagul, but like the path's been destroyed.
Yeah,
somehow.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess before the path was destroyed, it's a way to go to Yahagul.
Yeah. It's odd because like if it were a way to go to Yahagul, it would connect to the prison. So I'm wondering if like maybe if you look I'm doing this entirely from memory. If you look like off to the sort of like in between the arena and the path, there's just like a space you can't go. I'm wondering if that was like an entrance to Yahagul at one point and it's caved in, because you see there's like bits of building, but there's also just rock lying around. Yeah.
Okay, so you'd come in, you'd see the prison and the path to go to Yahagul.
Well, I don't even know if you would see the prison, because the prison, like, that looks like that was dug later on.
Oh.
So I'm wondering if, like, that would just lead to Yahagul, and the prison thing is just, like, they were digging a tunnel from the prison and eventually got out.
Okay. So Parl is like Shawshank Redemption?
Yes.
Okay. What about Shadow of Yharnam?
You fight them in where Byrgenwerth was excavating the labyrinth. So it kind of makes sense for them to be there because they're the guards of Queen Yharnam. And like she's from the labyrinth, so they're probably just like patrolling.
Wait, say that again?
Where you fight the Shadows of Yharnam is called Forbidden Grave.
Yeah.
That's where presumably Byrgenwerth were excavating the Chalice dungeons.
Okay.
Okay. Yharnam is from the Chalice dungeons.
Incoming call. Apartment door. Okay, open. Oh crap, which boss is this?
Shadows of Yharnam.
They're like, you're talking shit? Oh, maybe they're here to tell us more about the boss arenas. It's probably a delivery.
Surprise, the delivery is me in a box.
It's like, I gave you a surprise today, so now it's your turn. Babe?
What?
Is it Richie in a box?
No.
No.
He's still in Australia.
He's still in Australia. Or is he? What was that? Show me what that was, I swear to God, fucker. I learned that from that anime. See the types of things you teach me, Richie?
Yeah.
Did you know that before we started the podcast, I never swore on my channel?
Yeah, I know, and you used to bleep us out at the beginning.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah. So they're Shadows of Yharnam, they're bodyguards of Queen Yharnam. And
Yeah.
what are they patrolling what?
She is from the Chalice dungeons, right?
Yeah, but she's not around. Why are they? This is why
She's
you
in
kill her.
Bergenworth.
She's in Bergenworth? What? Queen Yharnam?
When you beat Rom, she shows up in the lake.
Yeah, but the lake is like somewhere else or whatever.
Yeah, but the implication I gathered from the shadows being around Bergenworth and then Yharnam appearing in Bergenworth is that like she was going like she probably learned that Rom was somehow holding back the Red Moon, so she went to Bergenworth.
Okay, but isn't she dead by this time because you killed her in the dungeon?
Well, no, because what she sends out like isn't her. It's like a projection of her. It's like the Emerald Herald.
So
in
why
Dark Souls
don't the
2.
shadows protect the real queen instead of fucking around in the Forbidden Grave?
Because she has a bunch of shadows. There's like a whole lot of them in Mensis.
Where were they when she was at the altar and you were beating her up?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
that's
guess,
a very
like,
good
yeah.
question.
Yeah.
I feel like they weren't doing their job.
Maybe they weren't paid enough.
My boyfriend's like, maybe they weren't paid enough.
Maybe after she's beaten up in the altar, that's when she starts hiring the shadows. And before that, she doesn't think she needs them.
You know what? That would
Yeah.
make sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
What time is it? Oh, God. Okay.
Do you have to go? This can have multiple parts.
No! We're finishing this.
Well, we're not going to finish it tonight because we have to do all
Yes.
bosses. We can only do main game
We're
bosses
like-
at the
we're-
time we have.
We're almost done. No, there's only like 4 that aren't main game. It's fine.
What?
Keep going.
Okay.
Okay. Rom, it's a lake.
Okay. Are we done talking about the shadows? But they get, yeah, the arena. The arena, also, there's a lot of corpses. What's up with that?
Because they're digging up a grave.
Why is it called the Forbidden Grave?
Well, it's more, I think it's meant to be more like Forbidden Tomb, as in the Fumarian tombs.
And they're forbidden because...
Well, Willem forbid it. There's this whole thing.
Oh, and what are the giant tombs in that
Those are-
area?
Well, they're just they're meant to be from the labyrinth. The problem is, like, those assets don't actually get used in the labyrinth.
And what are they
Oh,
called?
they kind of do. Well, in the art book, they're called Tombstone of a Great One.
Oh.
Mm.
Yeah. How
Also,
many great ones
guess-
are there? Do we have to
I
count
guess,
each
yeah.
tombstone to figure out the number of great ones?
Well, all right, I can tell you this.
Okay.
Someone, right, was talking to me about how often the hunt was. And they said the hunt's every red moon is the hunt, which isn't true. They said every red moon's the hunt. So I'll count every single gravestone in Gurman's arena and then divide that by how often a red moon happens every year, and that'll give us an exact time frame.
And?
And I just replied and I was like, okay, but I'm pretty sure that the hunt and the red moon are separate things. Like, the hunt just happens every so often. It's nothing to... And he got really mad and he unfriended me on something and then like unsubscribed.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the point of the story? How does this help me?
Because you were like, well, how many great ones? I guess we better count the tombstones. And I'm like, I've been there before.
Okay. Rum. Yeah, no, yeah. So these are tombs of the great ones, and each tomb represents one great one.
I don't know.
And the corpses are there because...
Because it's a grave. There's like skeletons, they're like fused into the wall of Bergenworth. Like it's like just digging down really far.
But here they're on the ground. I thought this was the feeding ground for the snake.
They're on the, like... Yeah, there's the gate that you take to Bergenworth.
Okay, but there's a bunch of skeletons on the ground, Richie.
They're in the same arena.
Yeah, on the ground.
Yes.
Why?
And in the walls. Yeah, because it's a grave.
Mass grave? Like, there's not just one, there's a lot.
It's not very well organized.
Okay, fine, I'll take it. Why is there water in there?
It's wet.
There was no rain, though.
There's a lake nearby. It's not like a desert. There's a lake above you. There's like a river of mud with corpses in it. And then it's quite cloudy.
Okay.
And you know, like if you dig down, there's probably like water in the ground.
Okay, fine. Oh, this is like garbage juice, but with like dead people. You know how sometimes you have a garbage bag and if it like poked, like garbage juice leaks out? Is this what's happening but with the graves?
Yes, yes.
Oh my god, my boyfriend has a very perplexed face right now. I don't know. I think this is how my relationship ends. Garbage juice. We're talking about garbage juice. In this case, it's grave juice, and there's a whole river, my love.
Okay.
This reminds me of a story.
Run!
So, my parents, they really like making soup, right? But I only like creamy soup, like broccoli soup and mushroom creamy soup, and what other creamy soups are out there? Like pumpkin soup. So I like creamy soups, but sometimes they make watery soup. Like, and I just personally really don't like it, but they always like try to make me eat it because it's supposed to be good for you. And I'm like, ew, this is disgusting. What soup is this? Did you go at the bottom of the dishwasher and just like scoop up the water and put it in here? So now that soup, the soups that they make that are not creamy are called dishwater soup. So when my boyfriend came over for the first time, they were like, hey, do you want some dishwater soup? And then I explained to him the story to tell him that it's not really soup that you find at the bottom of the dishwasher. It's just like a funny story.
Okay.
Rich is like, it's 4 a.m. Come on now, let's go.
Yeah, you first called me at 9:30 p.m. Right. It's now. So this is like over like a school day. I have just spent non-stop talking to you.
I'm preparing you for your future job as like a educator.
Yeah, but the educator is like educating the students. It's not the students telling stories about Russian dishwasher soup.
Do you? That's what you think. You just wait. Okay. So, well, here the wiki says Martyr Ligarius.
Oh yeah, I guess. Yeah, okay.
So his arena, and earlier you didn't get the right order because you said Amelia way earlier, but it's okay. I'll forgive you. It's 3 a.m. or whatever. So Martyr Ligarius.
Yeah.
He is in a frozen castle on the roof.
Yes.
Is that normal?
Well, maybe for him it's normal, but
And-
for us it isn't.
Like, if I were him, I would be scared of like accidentally falling off an edge.
He can't fall off the edge. I've tried. There's like he has like an invisible wall that only works for him.
Okay, but within the game, do you think he's scared of falling off the edge?
No, because he can fly. So
Oh.
probably like he'd just fly back up again.
Okay, right. And the roof looks like it's been renovated recently.
I think that was the executioners renovating it with like gigantic wheels. They just smashed into everything.
I don't know, because it's like,
Do you think that's how they got into Canehurst? They like knocked on the door and like, we're here for the renovations. That's odd. I don't recall asking for. I'll send them in anyway.
yeah.
Or they're just like, perfect. This castle's thousands of years old. Thank God this door-to-door renovators arrived when they did. That's actually a really common scam.
Really?
Yeah, like posing as like, oh, I'm a building like guy, and I was going past, and I just noticed that like your house isn't up to code.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I'm gonna do you a solid, and like I can fix your house up for like a discount with like materials I have left over.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they just run off with the money.
Well, so it could be that this was a scam, and the vile blood roof is fine.
Like how you almost said the vile bread.
Vile bread, yeah. So we got to think about that one. Maybe we'll have a whole podcast on the roof. The roofs of Bloodborne.
No!
Are some of the roofs made using the trees?
Forbidden Woods is made using trees.
No, but for a roof, do you use wood? No, you wouldn't use wood because it needs to be like waterproof.
It would depend on where you were making it.
Well, like here, it has also there's snow, so it's like you'd have to think about the weight of the snow, right? You wouldn't make it flat.
The buildings in Forbidden Woods are made from wood.
From the Forbidden Wood?
Yes.
Are they called the Forbidden Buildings?
No. They're just, well, I mean, they are forbidden because you're not supposed to be in the wood.
Richie, the more time goes on, the less amusing you find this whole idea.
We've been going for an hour.
Are you for real?
Yes, it's over an hour. No, it's not.
Beautiful. I don't even know. I was planning on putting this on Patreon only, but this is so marvelous. I think I'm gonna just release it.
God, it's gonna be like 3 hours long. Help me. Okay, ROM.
ROM, right. A
ROM.
CD-ROM? Well, actually, the wiki says amygdala first, so let's do amygdala.
Okay, amygdala. It's a chamber with a little, like, citadel thing in the back, like a tower.
Yeah. What does the tower serve?
It doesn't do anything.
Like it should.
Well, I suspect that the Nightmare Frontier, as we understand it, is actually backwards. And that what would happen is, in, like, some earlier version of it, after you did Yahargul, you would have teleported to that spire that Amygdala's in.
Mm-hmm.
And you would have walked from there, like, up the Nightmare Frontier to that little cave that you start in.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Yeah, because it's got the same statues on it that the statues in that the church in Yahargul does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you probably would have, like, teleported from Yahargul to there and then, yeah, gone to Mensis on foot.
Oh, cool. Okay. And it's just in a little, like, enclosure or whatever.
Yeah, it's just got all these, like, weird rocks, the skull rocks and the rocks with the striations that look like muscle.
Yeah, I thought that the graves were, like, living things or something, because it's like...
They have blood in them.
And they kind of look like the cut that one of the beasts has. Was it Lawrence?
Oh, the bloodletting beast.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I don't think, like... I don't think you're supposed to take it, like, super literally. It's just, like, sort of showing that the place you're in is not... like, is like an organic growing thing. Like, it's the nightmare, so it's, like, formed out of memories and it's always in flux.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. And, yeah, I guess that's about it, so...
You sound disappointed. You weren't able to get a series of tangents in there about, like...
No. Do you think the amygdala lives in that building?
I don't know what the deal with amygdala is.
We should have an episode on the amygdala.
Alright.
Yeah. No, I don't think it lives there. It's like there's nothing to do there. It's like an empty building. It's so boring.
Maybe it records podcasts.
Oh, shade!
No, I'm serious. Like, maybe that's what
Are you
it did.
saying these are boring, Richie?
No, you're saying it's bored, and I'm like, maybe it records podcasts to stop itself getting bored.
No, we record podcasts to spread the lore.
Can we just talk about Rom?
What time is it?
It just ticked over to 4:01 a.m.
Cool. Okay. So now we can do Rom, the vacuous spider. Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you crying? It's like,
Not yet.
oh no. Okay, so she's in the lake. It's a she,
Yep.
and we know that. And it was so cute. I thought it was a he, I guess, for the longest
Yeah.
time. And then Miyazaki was like, she's so cute. And I'm like, oh, okay.
She has a more feminine name in the Japanese.
Roma.
It's like Roma.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure they changed it because Roma is an ethnicity. And they didn't want to be like...
Yeah, you mentioned it a
yeah.
few times in a lot of podcasts, Richie. We got it. Is this the podcast that pushes Richard over the edge? Find out tonight at 9 o'clock.
Find out tonight at 4 fucking in the morning.
Okay. So it's
We've been recording for almost 7 hours.
Oh my god. Well, it's worse for me because I had to wake up early, and waking up early is harder than going to sleep late. Subjectively.
Okay, good.
So this is harder for me than it is for you. Okay, so Rom is in a giant lake.
Is she? Okay, you're now getting sick of it.
And we have a whole thing on Rom, and we have a whole thing on lakes, and we have a whole thing on mirrors. Like,
Just what you want this to be over with worse than I do. You hoist by your own petard. Because you thought this was going to be over in like half an hour. And it'd be like a thing you'd...
no, I thought we were gonna do one at a time over a period of time, and you're like, let's do all of them together.
You can cut it up then.
Yeah, but I thought we'd cut it up as we do it. Like, we'd just do one, and then do another one in another day, and another day. And you're like, no, we're doing everything now. And I just realized how much I'm screaming in this podcast, Richie. Do you see what you do to me? I'm gonna have to, like, edit it out, edit it back. I'm gonna have to edit it, I'm gonna have to listen to myself scream. Do you know how annoying that is?
Yes.
Okay, so it's a lake, and we talk about it a lot in various podcasts, so, like, we got it covered.
Yep.
Next. Amygdala again?
What have you done?
Oh no, I just went up instead of done. No, I just got confused. The one
You lost
reborn.
your sense of direction. The one
Yes.
reborn.
Uh,
Okay. In Advent Plaza.
Yeah, and we talk a lot about the Advent Plaza in the Mansis podcast, and we
Oh,
talked
now you're
about
just
it
skipping ahead everything now.
in the Mikalash podcast. No, we talked a lot, like if you listen to our podcasts, you're probably tired of hearing about it as well. So we know about this. We can
If
move
you're
on.
on the podcast, how tired do you think you are of hearing about it?
Yeah. Okay. Next, Celestial
Mikalash.
Emissary.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, Celestial Emissary is in Lumen Flower Gardens.
Okay, and you told me stuff. I can't remember if we talked about it on the podcast, how the flowers used to have a flower cycle.
It looks like the flowers were going to open at one point. They were called Lumen Flowers because they would open under the moon. And there's like some stuff floating around that kind of suggests that there would have been a different sequence to the game and you would have come to Lumen Flower Gardens a lot earlier and they would have been shut.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the moon happened, you would have come back and they all would have opened and be facing the moon. But that's cut now.
Mm-hmm. And we talk about it in the ROM podcast, how the moon might be like energizing all these arcane-like things or flowers or whatever.
I think that's reasonable that like they're feeding off the game. Like one of the things that's not, I think, talked about enough is the game makes a point of like with the great one sort of blurring the lines between if they're an animal or a plant.
Mm-hmm.
Because they tend to have, like, plant-like characteristics to them. It's like the celestial emissaries look... I know, like, a mushroom is technically its own thing, but they look like mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Amygdala's head looks like a mushroom. The moon presence is, like, she's called Flora, and...
Mm-hmm.
Like, Rom's tail looks like grass that's growing, and, like, there's the like the centipede thing before Rom that has like a flower growing out of the top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And it's located in
Upper Cathedral Ward.
Mm-hmm. Good. And
Ebrietus.
oh, we're moving. Okay.
What is there anything else you want to say about it?
I don't know. I was just like looking at it. Somebody was fighting the emissaries in it.
Yeah.
I mean,
because the emissaries, like, they grow out of the ground as you're fighting. They like pop out.
Yeah.
It's like the living failures.
So what was the point of the lumen flower garden?
Well, I think it may have been something to do with, like, following the moon, because that whole area is, like, themed around kind of astrology.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're like Ebrietus watching the sky, and the choir are watching the sky, and there's the corpse doing make contact, like, in the direction of the moon. And there's the big clock that charts the moon phase. So I'm guessing, like, the lumen flowers were a similar deal, because they would, like a sunflower, like, it blooms and it faces the sun all day, and then it closes. So, like, the lumen flowers presumably would have pointed toward the moon. And it's, like, a similar kind of thing.
Was it a corpse pointing toward? I thought it was like a dummy.
No, I think it's... Well, this is the thing about corpses in Bloodborne, that, like, it's kind of hard to tell. They look like statues. But I think that is just meant to be, like, a dead guy who was doing make contact. And
he was making contact for, like, so long. He just died and mummified on the spot.
Well, do you know what I think he did?
What?
He's making contact with the moon when the red moon happened. So it just fried him.
Oh.
Because the whole of Upper Cathedral Ward, like, the brain suckers and the werewolves, they're all the choir who, like, transformed under the moon.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess, like, he got the full... Instead of transforming, he just, like, mummified, kind of like Mikolash. He just
So he
died.
turned into beef jerky.
Yeah.
I feel like the beef jerky theme is coming up a lot, so I feel like the beef jerky theme is part of this.
Okay. Do you think it's coming up a lot organically because of the story, or are you just hungry?
Or is it that I love beef jerky? I don't know. You can't really tell. It could be anything. Do you think... Because sunflowers have, like, sunflower seeds that you eat, right?
Yeah.
And lumen flowers, consequently, have...
Just picturing you with, like, a pipe. Like, and lumen flowers, consequently, must also have seeds.
Yes. That you eat, and I guess those seeds could give you, like, arcane refills.
Well, the milkweed rune is called seedbed in Japanese.
So you could have milk the seeds?
No, it's just called seedbed. I don't know where the fuck the word milkweed actually comes from in, like, that context.
But no, Richie, it makes perfect sense. So you take the seeds, right? And you create, like, a milk or an oil out of them, and it's an energy drink. And it's kind of like, you just, like, drink it, and gives you energy, and, like, moon energy, and, like...
Big moon energy.
Big moon energy. Yes. Yeah. I mean, how else? How else do you...
Else what?
How else do you refill your arcane powers?
By pressing up on the D-pad.
And what does that do? It...
Gives you 5 blood bullets.
Yeah, but don't you have an arcane bar in Bloodborne?
You use Quicksilver.
Oh, it's true. You don't have an arcane bar. It's a stamina bar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the alternative. Okay, some people have an arcane bar and they refill it by drinking the Big Moon energy drink. Yeah.
I'm really glad there's not a camera on me right now.
Are you crying?
I'm just like slumped forward and there's like my eyes won't open properly and there's like drool coming out of my mouth and I'm just like
Am I giving you too much insight? Am I blowing your mind right now?
It's 4:11 a.m. on the 23rd of September.
Okay. We will be done by 4:20.
No, we won't.
I meant that as a date, not as an hour.
Also, we'll be done by April of next year.
Exactly. So don't worry. Okay, so the next boss is a Brietas, daughter of the cosmos.
She's Italian now, I guess.
I don't know.
You're gonna start a Twitter account called Italian Ebrietus and get banned.
Why? Why would I get
Because
banned?
someone made an Italian Elon Musk account and got banned.
Aw. You know what I noticed? That I can roll the Russian R's with like one side of my tongue more than the other? Is that normal?
Can we please talk about Ebrietus?
Okay, so where do we find Ebrietas?
Ebrietus.
Yeah.
Ebrietus is fought in a nonsensical area called the Altar of Despair. I think the idea behind the Altar of Despair is that it is the entrance to the Chalice dungeons. It's under the Grand Cathedral. And specifically, it is the entrance to Ys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly how that's supposed to work. I don't understand, like, you talk about Ys being another land that is in touch with the cosmos, so I don't know if what that means physically, if, like, Ys is a place, like it's a specific place in the Chalice dungeons that's more in touch with the cosmos, or if it means that, like, Ys is far away and you, like, teleport there. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Altar of Despair is likely, there's, like, literally there's an altar down there. The altar is Rom, for whatever reason, and you find the East Chalice there. So presumably, like, they were putting the East Chalice on that altar and accessing East from there.
Yeah, and we have a whole podcast on Rome and cut content surrounding Mikolash, Ebrietas, and all that. So if you want to know more about this area, I guess, or how bosses were switched around and whatnot, you can check it out there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's just like a puddle of water.
Yeah, that's water.
In a cave or whatever. It's a building.
Yeah. There's a whole lot of, like, Chalice
God.
dungeon statues. Like, what?
No, I just noticed there are not mummified, but petrified people in there.
I think they're statues.
Well, they look like Yahargul people, no? Like they're reaching out?
Oh, maybe.
Oh, maybe they are statues. Wait.
Okay. There's
they're
statues down there.
yeah.
Yeah, and they have, like, it's the same statue assets, but they kind of play with them, so they have less detail, so they look
Okay.
older. But they're kind of like they're worn down, so the detail is.
Wait, so why are all these statues there? What is this? Is this a basement?
Because it's the like an entrance to the Chalice dungeon, so there's a whole lot of Chalice dungeon stuff lying around, like statues and columns.
But that's not logical. Like, it's not a very well thought out area. Just like columns and statues upon statues, like a dump. Like a statue dump.
Yeah, because it's like ruins underneath Yharnam.
But how many statues do you need? Like, even if it's ruins?
They're probably just like dragging stuff up to the surface.
Well, they're hoarding statues. They need help.
Mikolash.
Maybe they should be on an episode of Hoarders. Maybe it's Ebrietas. What if Ebrietas is the one hoarding all the statues?
That's why she's crying.
Because what happened was she was on an episode of Hoarders and they actually took like half her stuff in, like, you know how they just like take the person's stuff in like giant trucks or whatever?
I don't watch Hoarders, but Go
Okay,
on.
well, yeah, well, at some point, if the person agrees, they try to help him clean out their like space, and oftentimes it's like trucks that come to take away all the crap that the person has, and it's very difficult for the person. And so maybe that's what happened. That's why there's a clear space. So that's what the trucks managed to clear. And then Abriatus was like, "Oh no, they're gonna take away my statues. They're gonna take the rest of it," and she was crying.
How did the truck get down there?
It's a Chalice dungeon truck.
Oh, I see. Well, there are wagons in the Chalice dungeons. I don't know what they're supposed to do. They have to keep going up and down stairs.
Actually, those wagons are filled with Abriatus things.
I was thinking more like Ibriatus is like, I'm over my statue addiction, and then one night, like, it's really late, she's kind of tipsy. And then she's like, I'll just get a cut. And then she wakes up in the morning, she's like, oh shit, I swear I wouldn't do this again, but it's another fucking paycheck has gone into these statues. And I know I don't need them, and I know it's a problem I have where, like, I get depressed, and I feel like if I get a couple of statues, that'll make it feel better, and I do it at the time, but then, like, later I always end up regretting it, and...
Richie, did she drunk order the statues on Amazon?
I think she might have.
Well, is the Altar of Despair another random statue she ordered, but it was some limited edition shit, so it cost a lot, and she's like, oh no, why?
Yeah, she's like, I can't believe it. It's just, I thought I was past this.
Yeah.
Oh, and she's like, I got all these statues, then it's like, oh, some of the statues, they have, like, chips out of them, I'm gonna have to, like, order some stuff to get rid of the chips on the statues and, like, fix all the cracks in them, and so that's another week's paycheck down the drain to fix the statues. And she's like, it's just becoming a sunk cost fallacy at this point. Like, I'm just constantly just buying to fix the statue, just never have bought the statues to begin with.
Yeah. Okay.
Mikolash.
Yeah, Mikolash. We actually had a whole episode on Mikolash recently.
Yep, with Bean.
With Bean, so I don't know what else to say about him.
It's a big library and there's some corpses.
Yeah, so but if you're really interested and want to know more about Mikolash and everything, check out the Mikolash podcast. Wet Nurse.
It's a circle.
Mm-hmm.
I actually wonder what that room is called, because the English script calls it Wet Nurse's Lunarium.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lunarium's also used to talk about where Willem is in Bloodborne.
Yes.
And, like, the word that becomes Lunarium is a Japanese word that you can't really translate, that's like Tsukimi. Mm-hmm. Which means, like, a place you go to watch the moon. So, like, Lunarium is an attempt to come up with, like, a sort of made-up equivalent word.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the lunar equivalent of a solarium.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to check, when it finishes loading, what that lantern is called in Japanese. I see the character form moon, so it's something to do with that. Hang on. Yeah, it's called a Tsukimi there as well. Oh, actually, it's called Tsukimi Dai, which means, like, really big Tsukimi.
Aw, that's so cute.
Yeah. So she has, like, a really big moon viewing area.
Mm-hmm. So it's a really big moon viewing area. What does that mean?
Well, it means that she's... Like, you can see there's, like, a huge moon in that area. So she's, like...
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's she's watching the moon, or it's like that the moon is really prominent because they're trying to beckon cause, and the Wet Nurse just showed up.
Mm-hmm. Also, I have a lore video on the Wet Nurse, the one that I remade recently, that is very good.
Yeah.
Much better than anything Richie ever did.
That's true.
Yeah, I have it in English and in Russian, so, check it out. Yeah. If you want to see what real lore is like. If you want to see what this channel could have been before Richie came along.
I wouldn't say I came along as much as I was like shanghaied and then just stuck around.
Anything else about the Wet Nurse's Lunarium?
Well, it's like pretty obviously not finished.
There's also a bunch of corpses which remind me of the shadows thing.
But they're like oh yeah, in the arena, yeah.
Yeah.
There's like Mensa's corpses outside, and then if you go in there, there's like I think the plan that they had originally is that it would have worked like Moonside Lake in Bergenworth.
How so?
Because there's art in the concept art book of like it looks like the area where you find the unused Wet Nurse boss arena the unused Moon Presence boss arena that people have found, where it's like the coast of a
fishing.
You know what I mean? No, yeah, it is. It's like the coast of it's like it's like a beta version of where you fight Orphan of Cause.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's concept art of that, and it looks like it's inside the Lunarium.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's got the wall around it and the moon in the distance, and like Murgo's pram.
Yeah.
And I'm like, was the idea that this like that would have like gated you to like the fishing hamlet originally? You would have like jumped through that, and that would have taken you to wherever the fishing hamlet started off as would have been there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Thank you. Gurman, the first hunter.
Yep.
What do you think
Big
about his arena?
it's,
More trees, yes.
Well, there's one tree though. It's like the great tree.
Aren't there trees in his arena?
Let
me see.
Oh, there's some, but it's mostly like there's these sort of crucifix things.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and fun fact about Gurman. You're supposed to know what I'm trying to say, Richie.
His apprentice was killed by Ludwig.
No, is that Gurman that we fight in the arena? Is not.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. The Gurman what happens is like Gurman's in the wheelchair, he gets up. In between him being in the wheelchair and getting up, his model changes. He looks completely different, and people were wondering like, oh, is this like Gurman it's like a younger version of Gurman or something? He like goes back to his prime when he fights you, and I think that's maybe what they're going with in the version that we have, but looking at the two models, it looks increasingly like the Gurman boss that you fight is like a totally different character to the guy in the wheelchair, and they just gave them the same face texture.
Do we ever
so
meet?
Like,
yeah, go on.
So yeah, just like it looks like when those two models were created, like old guy in wheelchair and guy with a scythe were two different characters, and then they sort of decided they would be the same guy, so they gave them the same face texture, but they didn't change the actual structure of the face. So that's how we know that they're probably not the same guy, because just if you remove the textures from the faces and just look at the facial models, they look like two completely different people.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if that could have been Lawrence at some point.
Well, it's possible.
Because
yeah.
You mentioned that maybe in the original version at the end you would have fought Lawrence, who was your friend or something.
Well, we don't know because there's like three different people who have been called Lawrence.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it looks like, the first hunter maybe was like a separate character from the advisor.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Anyway.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna end here, and we're gonna do DLC bosses another day.
Oh no! I think no.
When we're
There's
refreshed.
There's like 4 DLC bosses.
I feel
I think
like
we can
these
do
are
it.
the bosses that are gonna make you snap. Richie.
I think we can do like 4 DLC bosses pretty quickly.
Are you sure?
Because like it's already too late to be up, so I may as well just keep going.
Oh god. You
No,
should have been like, no, it's time for me to sleep.
No, well, just get it out of the way now. It's gonna take like 20 minutes.
Okay, fine.
Okay,
God.
Ludwig.
Okay. Quickly, tell me about Ludwig's arena.
Okay, this was your idea. You don't get to tell me to hurry up.
You have to go to sleep though, so I'm trying to speed up the process.
Ludwig's arena is a Buddhist hell motif. I've talked about this many, many times. One of the Buddhist hells, of which there are many, you are drowning in a river of blood, and there is a horse monster who tortures you.
Mm-hmm.
Ludwig being a horse creature and in a room full of like corpses drowning in blood is a very obvious nod to that.
And Richie has a bunch of videos on his channel, and one or more of them go into this.
I think it's just one.
It's just one? Yeah, I can't remember. It's all like...
Yeah, no one watches it, it's fine.
No, I can't remember specifically, because it's like one giant video in my head, but it's very good videos. I recommend you watching them. They're very, very good. Even though some people think that they may not have aged very well with the DLC or whatever, I completely disagree with that. I think they're still the best lore videos out there, so watch it. And an important fact about Ludwig that people should know is...
No, it's escaping me.
No, you know what it is.
I can't think of it. It's something with, like, Lawrence or...
No.
He killed someone.
Yeah, who did he kill?
Was it, I think it's Annalise?
No, I feel like if we repeat it enough times, though, it's gonna become canon.
He killed Soler.
He killed Soler, no!
He killed Alfred because you never see Alfred die. Could have been anyone.
If you want to know what fun fact we're talking about, you should watch my Maria video. That was also a very interesting lore, even though it was all wrong, it was pretty well done.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike these podcasts.
Living failures.
Are you talking about us or about bosses?
I don't know how much longer I'll be living.
That's why I told you we should do this another day.
It's almost done.
Okay. Actually, it's Lawrence the First Vicar. Well, he's in a church, and we talked a lot about these churches already. Like, it's fine. We can move on.
It's the same one, except he's in the. It's a different altar, so he can be in the Pieta pose.
Yeah, it's very deep. And we have a whole podcast on Lawrence, and yeah. And you talked about him on Duckfeed.
Yeah, I think so.
Bonfire Side Chat. I don't remember if you talked about him with Aegon.
I can't remember either.
But anyway,
I think I just did the fishing Hamlet.
But anyway, there's a lot of we talked about him a lot together or separately, so feel free to check that out if you're curious about him.
Okay, you feel free.
Feel free. Lady Maria of the Astral Clock Tower.
No, it's Living Failures.
Ah, shit.
They come before Maria.
Sorry, my bad.
Okay, I have a theory about Living Failures.
Okay.
I think they weren't supposed to be a boss originally. I think they were just meant to be Clock Tower patients.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because they can steal your blood echoes. And nothing else that's a boss can do that.
Makes sense, yeah.
And they're just like a random thing where, like, here's a bunch of enemies in a space, and then you kill them and they come back to life again. So I'm wondering if, like, maybe they weren't maybe they weren't supposed to be a boss, and they
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think they used to be smaller? Like cute little living failures?
No.
Yeah, cute little potato heads.
Little potato.
Yeah, cute little living failure potato, and you take it in your palm, and you're like, oh, you're so cute. You're not a failure to me.
This is how Maria treated them in the clock tower.
Yes. And then Ludwig was like, if I hear her use that baby voice one more time, I swear to God.
Was he a horse at this point?
No. Well, we don't know. He could have been, okay, whatever he was, it was in the real world. So if he was a horse monster in the real world, which we explored the idea, then maybe. And Ike drew a very, very cute picture. Do you remember where the hunter is looking up at Ludwig, the horse monster?
Yeah.
And Ludwig is wearing the executioner hat. And he's like, what do you mean, what's wrong? It's me, your friend, Alfred. But it's a giant horse monster.
I feel so bad that Ike is like producing good content for this.
Yeah, he likes it though. He's really awesome. Yeah, shout out to Ike.
If he likes it, maybe like he needs help. Why would anyone like this?
Because it's the greatest lore content on the internet, Richie. Yeah. Oh, we forgot to give a shout out to people. Okay, we have to remember next time. But yeah, this time, big shout out to Ike. Okay. So Maria of the Astral Clock Tower.
It's a room.
Mm-hmm.
There's very little in it.
There's an astral clock that you talk about in your videos, so...
Yep.
There's also a chair that you can poison.
Yes. Well, no, we're saving that for our Lady Maria's chair. Ultimate boss fight guide.
Okay. And, yeah, is there anything else about the arena? It's also like a church with giant bells on the top or whatever.
It's a clock tower.
Oh, right, it's a clock tower. Whatever, Richie, same thing.
Church clock, they're the same.
Yeah, and there are giant bells on the ceiling, and they're used to communicate with great ones?
Like, I guess. I mean, they're just bells.
No, because you see a lot of bells in the game.
Yeah.
So I think so, yeah.
Okay.
So then, the final boss of the DLC.
Yep.
You do the honors, Richie.
Orphan O'Coz.
Oh, okay.
It's the sea.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone.
Okay. Good. Perfect.
Do you want to talk about Orphan of Coz's arena?
Oh, there's more?
There's a big dead fish lady.
All right. I forgot about her. She's so obscure and unseen.
Well, you know, they never actually say that's Coz.
It's true. It could be anyone.
It could be, yeah. If something's not definitively answered, the answer is just any random shit you can think up. Because implications and ambiguity don't exist. And there's no such thing as, like, basic narrative structure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a fish lady.
Whoever she is.
Yes.
So when the Orphan of Cos climbs out of the womb of whoever it is.
Of the unknown fish lady.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Erden.
The doll.
Velka.
Queen of Lothric.
That's the great thing about the Souls series. Great thing about the Souls series is that nothing means anything at all. That's what really attracts me to it. It's not like they have a set of, like, themes and ideas that they explore. It's just whatever.
Is that the Orphan of Cos arena rent?
What do you want to talk about? How like when you beat Orphan of Cos, the like black smoke kind of thing rises up out of Cos's body. Yeah,
What does it represent?
that's the orphan's spirit. The thing about the orphan is like Orphan of Cos IRL was not that thing, right?
No.
Orphan of Cos would have just been like a little slug baby.
Oh.
And then what happens is because Bergenworth take away. No.
Because. Some say because.
437.
God. Go on.
So, right. Orphan of Cos, the actual like child of Cos. Bergenworth took it back to Bergenworth. It died. They dissected it. That's where the cord that Impostor Yosefka has is from.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a little slug baby.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is when it like people yell at me when I say died because like, well, if it's living on in the dreamlands, it's not actually dead. But like I think the Hunter's Nightmare makes such a big point of filling itself with hell imagery that it's fair to say, as far as we're supposed to like consider this the afterlife, even if it's not technically.
Mm-hmm.
So when the orphan dies, its spirit is trapped in this like purgatory place, which is the hamlet.
Mm-hmm.
And like we talked about Ludwig before,
Right.
this is Ludwig before being a like Buddhist hell reference thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hunters, the fishing hamlet is the same deal. It is overtly referencing another place in the afterlife called the River Sanzu. And like the River Sanzu has a lot of different meanings, but one of the things about it is like it's a place. Oh no, that's not necessarily Sanzu. Basically, there's a river where the souls of children who died before their parents are taken.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a purgatory for children. So it's playing that up. That's what the beginning area with like the piles of stones and the like the lighting and everything is trying to make you think of that. So the idea is like when the orphan died, because it had died in like pain and before its parent and everything like that, it's like stuck in this purgatory place. And what you encounter is like a manifestation of the orphan's like rage. It's like the anger of the orphan left behind.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why like it seems weird that they're like, oh, this poor child of Cos, and then you kill it. And then they're like, thanks. Because what you've done is you haven't really killed it, like it's already dead. What you've done is you've like freed it from the sort of purgatory state it's in by like banishing the sort of the angry part of it. So what happens is like the boss dies and then the smoke rises up, and the smoke is like, that's really the orphan. Like that's the orphan's like soul or whatever. Because the orphan wasn't actually that weird like monster thing, which is why like it looks like German's blade and everything. Because it's like a nightmare sort of like vision of like it's like the orphan's anger made manifest. So then when you defeat the smoke thing, it's like, okay, the orphan's like free now. It's like can like pass on. That's why they thank you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good. That was only an hour and 45 minutes.
Yay!
So hang on, I'm just going to check Discord for when you first started, when you first
God.
called me. Okay. I said, yeah, you can call me now at 9:28 p.m.
Okay.
It is now 4:40 a.m.
9, 10,
So we've been talking
11,
for
12, 1,
yeah,
2,
7
3,
hours and 10
4.
minutes.
Oh, it didn't feel like 7 hours. Felt like a breeze. I guess because
No
Aegon was it for most of it.
No comment.
All right, and we have like 3 podcasts out of this.
I guess 4 if you want to cut the start of the Aegon one out and make
Well,
that
that's
like
good. Oh, and I'll send you the anime stuff after I export it.
yeah.
So this is good. We did good, Richie. We did a really good job.
Yeah.
Should we record an outro? Yeah, you do the outro.
It's over now.
What?
It's over now.
Yay!
Okay, it's now 4:43 a.m. That means we've been recording for 7 1/4 hours.
But we recorded multiple things. We didn't just record this.
Yeah, but I think the problem is that, like, by this point, I'm delirious and I can't talk properly.
No, you did an excellent job, Richie. We all appreciate it. So yeah, thanks so much, and
That's alright.
you go sleep now. Maybe we'll do another podcast tomorrow. Maybe not. Maybe it's a surprise.
No.
We'll see.
No, I don't like surprises.
It's okay. You'll learn to like them. Okay. Okay, I'll stop now.